just seeing that. I What's up, guys? I was just chatting here with Andrew. Congratulations, Andrew. All jokes aside, that's awesome, man. Looks like a couple other people had a great weekend. I'll let some folks roll in here. What's up, driver Dan, JT, Alan? And as I'm letting people roll in, why don't I go ahead and welcome you to this channel. Welcome to Stock Watch Sunday, and welcome to Own the Chaos. The stock market, the world of finance and business is a crazy and chaotic world, and I've made it my mission to help you own it. So welcome to this channel. If this is the first time you've ever been here, I certainly would appreciate a thumbs up as this stream goes along and you see a little bit more value in what it is that I provide for the folks in this community, and subscribe if you want to see more content such as this and all kinds of other cool and crazy concepts and news and opinions and all that good stuff. So, you know, when it comes to the business side of things, I am the CEO of WeTradeHQ.com. It's a free platform where you can learn and grow and celebrate each other's success of other traders and other like-minded individuals. Whether you're starting out or whether you've been trading for 20 years, we want WeTradeHQ to be the place for you. Again, it's free to join. Check out the links down in the description. You won't be, well, you'll be glad that you did. Sorry about that. So, Cowboys got a touchdown already. First of all, so I'm going to let some folks roll in here and I'm going to rant a little bit because my Ravens freaking crushed it. Ravens defense finally showed up. It started to feel like the old Ravens defense that I'm used to seeing. And Lamar Jackson, when are people going to take Lamar Jackson seriously as an actual quarterback? Everywhere I look, it's like this guy isn't sustainable. He's not going to be able to make it in the NFL like this. And all he does is freaking win. 4th and 2, runs it in for a touchdown after they wanted to kick it. He convinces John Harbaugh to, you know, to run it in, and the guy's magic. You know, he just, I mean, he's a nightmare for defenses, and I think he should be in the conversation for MVP. It's like, I don't know. It was an amazing game. I loved it. What's up, Jesse, Nikki? Let me welcome some folks here. Last week was crazy. Own the Chaos Mentorship. We're going. Yes. So if you want to check out the mentorship, I do go live with folks. Yeah, that's right. We're going to stuff our pockets with cash again. Yeah. Links in the description for that. Yeah. Ravens defense was awesome. What's going on? Ryan Droke, Colts. Joseph's Colts fan. Hey, I tell you what, everybody kind of wrote the season off for the Colts, and Jacoby Brissett has stepped up to the plate. A good looking team now leading the AFC Central, I think it is. I think it's AFC Central. Not bad for running back. That's right. That's all he does is win. So, yeah, awesome. So, we got some folks in here. So, let's go ahead and get started. So, it is going to be a crazy wild week for big board stocks. So, and I'm going to go over, I think it's going to be another exciting week for penny stocks as well. So, if you guys are new to this channel, I have a diverse list of stocks that I watch. So I started trading penny stocks when I first started getting into the stock market. I love it so much. I specifically love the OTC or over-the-counter penny stocks. So I'm never going to stray away from that. So I'm going to give you a couple stocks that I'm watching on that side of things as far as OTC penny stocks are concerned. And then I'm going to shift over to big board stocks. The feedback that I've gotten from all of you is that you really do like the diversification of, I guess, sectors or areas within the market that I cover. And so I wanted to just go ahead and do that. So the first part of my live stream is going to be on the OTC penny stocks. So if you're not interested in that, I encourage you to just stick around till I get to the second half of my live stream where I talk about the big board stocks and what I'm watching there. And, you know, vice versa. So if you're not interested in OTC penny stocks, or if you are interested in OTC penny stocks, hang tight. I'm going to do that right now. And then the second half, I'll cover big board stuff as well. What's up, Bob? Yeah. Okay. So let me go ahead and share my screen here with you. And the first 3 stocks that we're going to talk about are going to be, again, the OTC stocks. It's going to be, first one's going to be ARSN. It really kind of bottomed out on this chart. And this is the 4-hour chart. If you guys are curious about this, and if you're curious about the platform I'm on, if this is the aforementioned WeTradeHQ, WeTradeHQ.com. Again, you can go here. You can look up. If for you OTC traders, you might find it useful here. We've made some significant updates on the platform. There's all kinds of different tabs now here. So when you go to search a stock at WeTradeHQ.com, we have the forum here where people can write formatted posts, and we can pin them. You can do all that good stuff. You can follow this if you want to. Stick it in your portfolio, your makeshift portfolio, and your profile here at WeTradeHQ.com. You can check out all the financials. We do have filings now, both SOS and SCC filings, and we are also working on news. So, anything that comes out news related on OTCmarkets.com, you're familiar with any of the other major PR machines out there, you will start to see those show up here on WeTradeHQ as well. So, lots more updates to come, but I wanted to make sure that we covered that for you guys as well. And even if you're trading big board stocks, this is all there. This is all there for everybody and anybody. If you're bullish on it, you're bearish on it, you can vote here too. So great stuff, great updates, and plenty more to come. My partner Jake, who helped me build WeTradeHQ, we built it together. It's been an amazing ride so far, and he's just been crushing it lately with a lot of these updates. So it's been pretty cool to see. But nevertheless, ARSN definitely had a, bottomed out here and starting to make moves back up. It's crazy to me. I try to find stocks, guys, even though this is the OTC and 95% of OTC stocks are garbage. I still try to find OTC penny stocks that actually have legitimate businesses, moving forward. And ARSN is one of those. Yeah, they have dilution that they're taking care of. And, but this is with a market cap here. I mean, you go and look at the market cap. This is ridiculous. It shouldn't be at this price level. We just witnessed an acquisition for $1,000, some Chinese BS acquisition for $1,000 that took place back in February that ran higher than ARSN, and nobody even cares about it anymore now. So this is the kind of crazy stuff that I'm talking about. But for me personally, I'm at least trying to look for companies that I think at least have promise, or at least worth watching for. And ARSN, again, is one of those companies. If you're not familiar with this company, this is one where they, gosh, I think it's probably been almost a year now that Yingling Ice Cream has merged in. Actually, no, it was 2019 that the merger took place. Yingling Ice Cream merged into ARSN. They were once a private company and then reverse merged into ARSN. And it's been slow going. They've been through a lot, getting through all the notes and stuff like that on ARSN. They've put out recent tweets here. I thought this was interesting too, that they were, I don't know, chatting up with Coca-Cola. But if you look at their Twitter account, now this is not something that I usually hang my hat on. I don't hang my hat on anything that, any tweets that companies put out. But, anytime that they put out some sort of post on social media, they usually do follow through with it. So they've gained my trust a lot over the last several months when it comes to being communicative with their shareholders. And so on the 17th, they announced that our current financials will be posted next week, which is this coming week. This will lift the yield sign. In addition, we are stages 2 very significant agreements that bring more horsepower to our marketing team and our private equity efforts. And so what they're referring to is this yield sign here. They're behind on their filings, not too far behind. They're just one filing behind essentially. So they'll be getting this one up. And so once the filing comes up, I expect that ARSN is going to have some more movement to it. And you can see that this is a pretty decent resistance here around a 007, 0078, 008 area. And so if it breaks up over this, I would expect this to continue to move. Some pretty significant buying over the end of last week with ARSN really coming all the way down. I mean, this is unbelievable. I mean, it almost felt like it was a no-brainer to buy all the way down here at 003. I mean, you got to be kidding me, right? And so this has continued to go up like I said, over the last several trading days. I think that eventually this thing's got to go. With the market cap being the way that it is, and everything that they have behind this, this is legitimate business, a nationally known brand. And when it comes to Yingling Ice Cream, I just have to believe that with the fundamentals that are behind this, that it's got to be it's got to be there. You know, it's got to be close. So, yeah, feel free to ask questions. Pindaz, I see that here. So feel free to ask questions if you guys have any other stocks you would like me to take a look at that I don't mention on the ones on my watch list here. I'd be happy to do that. So I see Jeff's asking about Aurora. So I'll get to those as soon as I'm done going over the ones that I'm watching. So and just the kind of simple housekeeping rules, just kind of let me know why you're watching this one, why you see value in that particular stock. So I see this ticker symbol FAGI. So just kind of give me a little bit of backstory. I mean, I'm familiar with FAGI, but I kind of want to know where your mindset is, why you see value and stuff like that. So if you have a ticker you want to put up, that's the only thing I ask of you, and I'll be happy to go through that. All right, so there's ARSN. Expect that filing to come out and expect it to make some moves. I'm not telling you to buy it. You know, this is a stock watch Sunday for a reason. It's not stock buy Sunday, right? We always talk about that. And so, you know, this is definitely one to keep an eye on. I would expect that if it breaks over 008 and in particular over that 1 penny range, 1 penny seems to be a really tough resistance for this too. So if it breaks over 1 penny, I think we start to see this continue to move. The last time it broke 1 penny, it had a nice strong move as well at 013. Unfortunately, ended up coming right back down eventually. But I think that this should start to move considerably. So be on that lookout for ARSN. Next one I wanted to point out to you guys, which was HIRU. Now, let me just preface this to anybody who's not used to trading OTC penny stocks. HIRU is priced at 0.007 cents per share. And I always tell my folks, especially that are in my mentorship, or anybody that asks really, is that anything that's priced at 0.00 anything per share should be treated as a penny stock. Or I'm sorry, as a penny stock. Of course it should be. As a lotto type play. You know, there's usually not very much to go off of. You know, there's a huge reason as to why these types of stocks are priced this low. Lots of times it has to do with the share structure being atrocious, lots of dilutive debt, share dumping, and all that good stuff. So, having said that, I think that HIRU could be one to watch out for. This is one that has been on the radar for a little bit. Folks within the WeTrade HQ community and within my morning mentorship as well has gotten into HIRU. We got it 0004, 0005, scaling in that area. And I still think that this is definitely a good time to consider scaling into something like this if you have the funds that you can afford to lose, because that's why we talk about this being a lotto type play. You know, all it takes is 2 or 3 ticks, and all of a sudden your position size gets cut in half. So that's the real risk that involves with this type of thing. But having said that, we've had some recent developments with HIRU and reinstatement coming soon. We always talk about within the OTC penny stock space that reinstatements, you know, is just another stepping stone to reverse mergers, which are, you know, arguably the largest catalyst that the OTC sees. So as you can see here, this XL Rev Twitter account, which is pretty reliable. They've been around for a while. We are teaming out with HIRU Corp, newly acquired by an affiliate, to purchase delinquent debt obligations and turn them into cash. I kind of found this pretty funny because if you go, this is the same type of business that IFLM was trying to get into and failed miserably at. This company's actually been around for a while. So that's the difference between this one and IFLM. And, you know, so expect the reinstatement soon. And you can see here, this is the latest press release that XLRev put out. Affiliate of Accelerated Revenue, LLC, Columbus, Ohio-based boutique collection agency, closely held business purchase control of HIRU. The purchase included the Series A preferred shares, yada, yada, yada. They're trying to get themselves reinstated with the state of Georgia. It's actually kind of an unusual one. Usually you're used to seeing them in Nevada, Wyoming, Florida, Delaware, those types of areas. Every once in a while you see one in Pennsylvania, New York, or whatever. But Georgia seems to be where we'll be expecting the reinstatement to come from on this one. And looking at, you know, the share structure with this one, let me see here. The share structure with this one, if I recall, let's go look at it on OTC markets. I forget what it was off the top of my head, but it's relatively thin for a 000 stock. Usually 000 stocks, you're seeing like an atrocious number, and this is pretty average. This is pretty average. I mean, this is a little outdated, so if you look at this updated number, I don't always assume that the unrestricted OS is the float, but in this case, I think that the safer bet would be to assume that. And so either way, this is still a relatively small share structure given the price range. Usually you're used to seeing stocks like this. Oh gosh, I've seen them in the trillions before, tens of billions of shares. This one's not quite as bad as, a lot of other 000 type stocks. So be on the lookout for HIRU. This has been on the radar for a couple weeks now, and I expect this one to continue. Hey, what's up, Joe? Still got some UNRG? I do. New officers. We'll talk about UNRG in just a sec. Great. Thanks for bringing that up. We can talk about that. The next one that I have on my watch list that I wanted to just bring up before I get into some of the other OTC requests is TCELL. TCELL has been one that has, if you guys recall, last week I still had this on the watch list, and you can kind of see here that they've had their filings. They put filings out as recently as 10/11. They've been very communicative on their Twitter account as well, and have followed through with everything that they've been setting out to do. And the chart looks fantastic, reaching new highs that we haven't seen since the beginning of September at the end of this week. And so just looking at the daily chart here, you can see this is a pretty nice moving chart coming from out of the 000 range and up over into 00s. I think that we could start to see new highs. The highest we saw was 0013. I would expect to see even higher highs this week. So if you're looking to scale yourself in, anytime you see this come back down to 001 area, anything in the trips, again, this is another high risk, high reward type of deal. If you are able to scale yourself in and you have liquidity to trade something like this, I would do so. If you see this start to dip back down closer to 0009, 001 area, I think that if you can scoop up some of those shares, you'd be pretty happy with this one as the filings continue to roll in. Looking at share structure on TCELL, again, see this one's a little bit higher than what HIRU is, but nevertheless still moves very nicely. Everything, every time I've been looking at the tape on this one, how it trades much thinner than this. I don't know, what the actual float is, but I would have to believe that it's got to be smaller than this number here, just by the way that the price action moves on this thing, and how there's not really that much volume to really get this thing moving. I mean, you can look here. The volume here is there's just pretty much non-existent. Very light buying going on, and it just keeps creeping up. So very excited about TCELL. This is one that I've had free shares on for a while. And speaking of free shares, I saw that Joe was asking about UNRG. So JCAS here. Still got some UNRG new officers listed, and looks like we found the merging company which matches all three officers. I didn't catch that, Joe. I didn't catch the merging company, which matches all three new officers. I didn't catch that one. So I'm interested in that. I'll have to go look that up after this. I don't know what this means. TCELL naked. Two big buys Friday. TTPN. We can look at TTPN. If you guys recall, I don't see that here. If you guys recall, anybody look back and watched, I put a video out on UNRG that it's ran 5,000% in 6 weeks about that. But I'm very excited about UNRG and where that's going. That was one that I specifically bought in low, got free shares as soon as possible. And so so TT, what was that again? I see it. A couple people asked what TTPN. Let's see. Maybe it's just not. We can't find it on WeTrade HQ. Yeah, I got nothing. It's not even coming up on OTC markets. So, I don't know what that one is there. What do you think about cryptobolic techs? Gotta be honest with you, that's not something that I'm familiar with. Strong close on Friday at TCELL for sure. CLZ is DCGD buying. I don't know about that, Mark, but DCGD, it's interesting. I don't know what's up with DCGD, but I mean, it's moving nice. TTNP. Okay. Oh, it's a NASDAQ one. We'll get to NASDAQ in just a sec. Thanks, Laser. Appreciate it. TOMI has backlog of news. 2 billion AS reduction acquisition. Yeah, we can take a look at that one. TOMI has definitely caught the attention of a lot of people. This has offered a lot of really good opportunities for folks. I traded this one a while ago back here in this first run, and then it's dipped down, had another run in it, dipped down again, had yet another run. This thing has been moving quite nicely. This has a very nice share structure. And what were you saying, Andrew? Let's see here. And 2 billion AS reduction in acquisitions. All news info and filings are pending due to FINRA. Ticker change delays. Volume has been kicking up as of late. Should be close. Yeah, and to Andrew's point here, you can see how this has been picking up. If we look at TOMI, we'll take a look at their share structure. This is what I like about TOMI. This is why it moves so nicely. The share structure is super tiny. Usually I would tell folks, hey, be careful with something like this because of the share structure. There's always a double-edged sword. When you look at something that has such a tiny share structure, such as TOMI, the risk comes when there's not a whole lot of liquidity involved with it. But TOMI has had a lot of dollar volume going in and out of it. And so it's given people a lot of good opportunities to accumulate positions or buy down on the dips, and then it moves right back up nice and easy. So TOMI has been moving very, very nicely, coming all the way down from sub penny, going as high as 60 cents, coming back down. So lots of good stuff going on with that one. Definitely for sure would consider putting that one on your watch list too as well, everybody. So thank you, Andrew, for bringing that to our attention. This one's always since the summertime, it's been a great stock. It's offered a lot of opportunities. If you can see here, this has got a pretty okay support at around 29-30 cents. But obviously we've seen that come below that. I really like it. If it comes back down here, this would be a good spot to grab it. Not saying that it will, but if it comes back down to the teens, I would say 14, 15 cents per share. That's a really nice spot. It seems to always want to bounce off of that on the daily chart. So if you're looking to accumulate a position on TOMI, given everything that's coming down the pipe, this is your channel here that you may want to consider accumulating a position into. And if you guys are curious about what I mean by accumulating a position, it means like when I talk about accumulating a position, I'm saying if you have a certain amount that you want to use to buy a stock like TOMI, for example, scale yourself in with that position size. Don't go all in all at once because there may be opportunities. That's how you manage the risk in the OTC. That's how you manage risk in penny stocks. And even some people do this on bigger board stocks as well. But this type of strategy is more prevalent in penny stocks. And so scaling yourself in, some people consider it a cardinal sin, but in penny stocks, it's really not. If you can average your position down with the position size that you want to take on it, you can do that in chunks. So you can buy in chunks and then you sell out in chunks. That's the strategy that I always like to tell folks to, get used to. If you're trading penny stocks, you will come out on top more times than not if you employ that strategy. Also, making sure that you ride on free shares. If you double your position or more, even if you want to take a 50% increase and take your initial investment out, as long as you can get into a stock that you see value in, it starts to creep up on you, and you can get that initial investment out as quickly as possible. That's what's going to set you up for the best possible success trading these types of stocks. So just keep that in mind. Let me see here. What other stuff we got? Yeah, thanks, Alan. Appreciate that. Do I use trade ideas? I do not. I use equity feed. So equity feed's the best scanner out there, period, hands down. There isn't a better one. LVCA, that one's been good. As of late, it came back down, and it was like no longer Lake Victoria. I don't know what lake it was, but it wasn't anything good about it. Would I buy CELZ? I don't know if I would, just because there's already a lot of hype on it already. Listen, the thing about it is that if you're seeing it all over Twitter already, chances are, unless it's something that's monstrous, DCGD is an outlier. But if you're seeing it all over Twitter, if you're seeing it all over social media, if you're seeing it in all of your chat groups, the chances are that you're probably one of the last people to get in. And that's not really a spot that you want to be in. You want to be in, you're going to want to get into stocks a little bit earlier than that. And so CELZ, there's probably a lot of people that are very baggy on that are holding shares and they're trying to get out. So it's probably going to have a tough time moving unless there's some major, gigantic, insane catalyst that comes out on CELZ, which I don't see happening. PTAH, 000 stock. So yes, I would agree that that's a lotto play as well. GOVX, that's been one that's moved quite nicely as well, Johnny. So GOVX, this is what I like to see, providing some information, why you see value. GeoVax Labs, clinical stage biotech developing human vaccines. Let's take a look at that one. Let me flip over back here. By the way, this is another thing that Jake added to WeTrade HQ. This was a struggle. It was really easy to find logos for the popular big board stocks, but now we got logos for all of the OTC stocks as well, which I don't know. I know it's a small addition, small little upgrade, but I think it's cool still. So looking at GOVX, this is tough stuff on this one. Gosh, it looks like it's actually experiencing quite a bit of dilution, if I'm honest. I thought this one had a good move in it recently, and it looked like it did, but it was a little bit longer ago than I thought it was. Looking at share structure here, it's really not that bad. The share structure isn't, especially for this price point. But what do they got going on? So lots of times when I'm like, okay, this looks like this has dilution, I'm going to go right into the annual report, the latest filing. What do they got? And so then, I'm going to go to their balance sheet. I'm going to go look through there and see what's going on. Do they have a lot of dilution? Is there a lot of, gosh, this is a huge filing. So Control F, notes. Jeez, a whiz. Okay. So let's go down here. Where is their balance sheet? Looking through. This is the kind of stuff we do, though, guys. When you're looking through and to trade penny stocks, you want to go through all the fundamentals. You want to see what they're all about. And so for me, I'm looking to try to find their balance sheet so that I can, how much do they have to convert still? Lots of times in companies like this, just to kind of give you a heads up, a lot of your pharmaceutical type companies are going to have a lot of notes. And this one's a little bit off the wall or a little bit different type of filing as far as annual reports concerned. So I will, for the sake of time and everything else like that. So for the sake of time, who was it that asked me about it? Johnny. Yeah. So for the sake of time, Johnny, I know that you know how to reach out to me, so I'll go over this one a little bit more at length. But usually it's pretty easy to find the balance sheet. This one's a little bit weird. So I'll go and do some more digging on this one to answer your question a little bit more thoroughly. I don't want to just give you something just because I want to give you something. So, I'll be happy to do that. So if you're in the Discord group, feel free to reach out to me and we can go over that one a little bit closer together. So yeah, there you have it, GOVX. But this looks like to me, Johnny, that there's been a lot of dilution going on just based off of the chart. You can see it pretty clearly. And it's pretty common. With a lot of these pharmaceutical companies, you're going to see that dilution. And so that could be what's going on. So if they turn that off, so there you go. Andrew was already, I guess, familiar with it. 600K worth of preferred shares converted and killed it from 03 down to double zeros. 3 million left to go. Yikes. So there's the quick and easy answer for you, Johnny. Tough one for sure. So thanks for that, Andrew. Appreciate it. All right. So there you have it for the OTC type stocks. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on over to the big board stuff and talk about the first one is going to be Beyond Meat. Now, if you guys are familiar with what I've been talking about with BYND, seriously since July. Since July, I've been talking about BYND and Beyond Meat and how much this is overvalued and how much of a piece of shit stock this is. Excuse my language. I was asked to lighten up on that, but it really is. It's a garbage stock. It really doesn't belong in the triple zeros. And what's going on with BYND now is they in 5 days, there's about 45 million shares that are going to be dumped into the float. Or I think it's like 48.8 million, something crazy like that. And so the float's essentially going to triple in size from where it's at right now. And now that it's already bleeding down, right now those shares are locked up. Once those are able to be traded in the free market, they're going to essentially dump them. And so everybody who's in BYND right now is trying to get out before that happens. So I would anticipate this to continue to come down. So if you're looking at BYND right now, I told my folks within my mentorship that are in this trading with me on this one, I've been shorting this. I've shorted it all along, but I've shorted it, taken my position out, shorted again, taken my position out. This is the longest that I've held BYND as a short position, and I'm no longer really caring about the chart. All I care about is that lockup that is going to take place this week, and look to short the hell out of BYND. I expect this to be below triple digits this week, probably even as soon as Monday. There is a small chance that this could bounce a little bit off of 105, but don't count on it. This isn't one that I would, I always try to not tell people not to buy or sell anything based off of my opinion. I'm just, going by what I do, how I find success, and that sort of thing. But if you're looking to go long on BYND, I would really be concerned for you and your account. That's all I have to say about it. It's just, there's no way that anybody's going to want to buy something that triples its share structure or triples its float. It's just not going to be a good few weeks for BYND. And they're also coming out with earnings, which I don't expect to be good at all. So it's almost kind of like a double whammy. BYND is not going to make it. You've also got Tyson that's just announced that they're getting into fake meat crap. You're also got Kellogg that came in and said they're getting into the space as well. So competition is also increasing, which is not boding well for BYND. If you want an example as to how competition impacts other stocks, just go look at Roku and Netflix and how they've been impacted by all the other competitors moving into the space, such as Disney, Hulu, and the like. So Amazon, Apple, all of them starting to move into that space, and now it's diminishing the value of Netflix and Roku and all these other streaming services. And same thing's happening with BYND on top of all the other garbage that's going on with the stock. So I wouldn't suggest, if there's ever a time that I would suggest you not to go buy something or go long on something, it would be BYND. So there you have it. So had a nice big juicy steak over the weekend after I put this out. So there you have it. Moving forward with Boeing also coming out with earnings this week, and Boeing has had a tough time, right? We already know about Boeing and the 737 MAX Airs and how they've impacted the stock already. This extreme gap downs when those planes started having issues back in the first and second quarters, and it's still impacting the stock considerably. And you can only imagine with them pulling all of the MAX Airs out of production, out of service, that it's not going to end well for Boeing. Having said that, I think it's important to note that there is an area that this could potentially bounce at around 339, 340, and maybe it comes down to around 330. But I think it actually probably ends up coming down below that. I really do. Even though we've had, a really huge red day on Friday, I think that the earnings are going to reveal a lot, and it's not going to be good for Boeing. I really don't. So I'm anticipating taking a short position on this one for me personally. And, if this is one that you're watching, that would be the sentiment that I would provide for you. And actually, you can see that there have been folks that have been voting on Boeing as well. And I'm going to go ahead and vote and say that it's going to be bearish. So I'm going to go and say that I would probably short this stock rather than go long on it. So those are the two that I would anticipate doing that with. It's kind of really the theme of this week. The other two stocks I'm going to go over, I'm not going to be long on. So all four of these stocks I'm planning on shorting this week. And the next one's going to be Tesla. Tesla actually has earnings out this week as well. And given the reaction, here's the thing with Tesla. first of all, I love the volatility of Tesla. There's so many opportunities that it gives you to go long, so many opportunities that it gives you to go short, which I've done both. I've played both sides of Tesla, and it's an amazing stock for that. The volatility is great. It's a great moneymaker. Having said that, because of the volatility, every little tiny thing that happens with Tesla, good or bad, brings upon a ridiculously strong reaction. And so one thing that you have to be prepared with Tesla is, if they miss earnings, even if it's by a smidgen, just by a little bit, the stock's going to tank. And that's just what happens. They missed vehicle production by 477 vehicles, and then the stock tanked like $40 a share. They missed it by less than 500 vehicles, and everybody was losing their mind. But having said that, it provides you with opportunity. You can short it, and then you can wait for the bottom to kind of settle in, and then go long again because it goes right back up. And so that's what I think is going to happen with Tesla. I'm probably not going to take a shot at Tesla just out of the gate, and I want to see how it reacts on Monday. But it's been moving very, very nicely. When they missed the expectation of vehicles that came out, despite them breaking records and everything, they just didn't make the numbers that the analysts thought they should make by 477 freaking vehicles. Then it had this gap down, right? And so then it continued to bleed down. Well, then it came all the way down to this bottom support level that we actually looked at and observed on a previous Stock Watch Sunday. I told folks this looks like a really good bottom support level here. This is where I would consider going long at. And sure enough, it continued to go up to over $250 a share. Came back down, had a nice little pullback, and steadily went back up. This is an amazing looking daily chart on Tesla. And when it runs, it runs. And that's what happened over the last two trading weeks with Tesla. Is like it's just been a monster. So you're just going to have to, if you try to play into earnings and hold over earnings, you're really kind of risking it. Anytime you hold over earnings, it's always a huge risk. But I will say that this is probably even riskier than any of the other ones, just because of how the reactions are. So if you're looking at Tesla, the earnings are great, awesome. Ride the wave after the market opens after earnings. Just that would be what I would do and what I'm actually looking to do. If earnings are bad, if earnings aren't what people are expecting them to be, and then this is probably going to be a really good short play. So, that's what you're going to want to look out for as far as Tesla's concerned. Don't just go buying it on Monday expecting that the earnings are going to continue to go because this momentum's continued. It really has approached a nice little support level here around 257. It's where it closed at last week. This is a really great spot for Tesla. So if it bounces off of this area and continues to move, it might lend itself some opportunities earlier in the week, but just don't. I would strongly discourage anybody to hold this over earnings because, it's just extremely risky. You could lose your tail on this one if it doesn't really go your way. If you're expecting earnings to be good, and they're just not. So there you have it with Tesla. I'm still going to be very much watching this one as earnings show up on Wednesday. So be on the lookout for that. Netflix this is the most ridiculous looking chart I've ever seen. Netflix had amazing earnings, had a great run all the way up to highs of actually 317 after hours when the earnings came out on the 17th. And it's since then, every time Netflix has earnings and they do well, it has this huge run up and then it just sells off. And I think that's probably what's going to happen with Netflix still. I think that at this point, at this stage in the game, I expect Netflix to probably come down back to its previous lows, maybe even lower than that, as it was heading down in that direction. And a lot of this has to do with their competitors. You have Disney coming in, Apple coming in, Amazon, all these other competitors, Roku, all of them coming into this space now. I just saw a commercial for Disney live streaming, or for Disney streaming services. So it's coming. November 1st is when they will be carrying that out. And so it's just going to be tough for Netflix to sustain this price range. I think that it probably ends up coming back down. 232 is the absolute bottom for this year. And so I think that we see that before 2019's out. I really do. So despite the fact that they had positive earnings and they beat expectations, I think that because of the competition that's going on with Netflix, that this continues to come down. So look for this to maybe have a support around 260. I'm looking to short Netflix all the way down to probably 260. And maybe if it has a bounce in it, I'll cover there. But that's what I'm looking for on Netflix. I think that this one's going to be, if you want to hold shorts on this one, hold a short position, I don't think that's going to be a bad idea, to be completely honest with you. I think that Netflix is going to continue to bleed down. As you can see, overall sentiment for the WeTrade HQ members is, to sell this. So looks like everybody's kind of on the same page with Netflix. It would be very risky to go long on Netflix at this point. Yeah, Blade Runner, nice to see you, man. All right, just checking out the questions here if anybody has any. There you go. How low will Tesla go? I'm guessing around 220-ish. Greg, yeah, I think Tesla probably will go around there. We can go back to the chart here. So if it misses earnings, I think it'll probably end up coming around 220. Seems to be a really good good support for it. It has come down below that, but as you can see, there's been plenty of times that it's kind of bounced off of that. It's also come down to around 210 to 11. That's another area that if it breaks around 220, it's probably going to end up coming back down here to 210. And then if it comes all the way back down below that, I mean, I don't know if it'll come below the 200s. It's very likely that it could. It just depends on how bad it misses earnings. But I think that 210, 220, yeah, it's probably going to be a good spot to short down into if earnings are poor. That would be my estimation on that one. So, yeah, good question there. Bought Netflix at $66, sold at $79, or $166, sold at $79 about 2 months later. Oh, Jesus, David, that's crazy. Zishan Ali, do I do options? So I don't do options, and it's not because I'm not, I couldn't learn them. It's just I've always just been a penny stock trader at heart, and I've dabbled in, just straight trading these bigger board stocks. Options just seems like a foreign language to me, and every time I try to learn it a little bit, I'm already too busy with everything else to try to sit down and learn options and really become confident in it. So while I know how they work and I know what goes into trading options, I'm still not just confident enough in it yet to really kind of speak on them. So, if you don't want to short Tesla, just do some put option, get some puts on there. And, you probably know that it serves generally the same purpose. So, like I said, it's not something that I'm all that confident in doing as far as options are concerned. I know that they're very risky and all that good stuff, but so are trading penny stocks. So it's just kind of whatever it is that you find confidence in, that's what you should go with. And for me, options, I'm just not confident in them. Let's discuss it. Speed up your knowledge. Yeah, I mean, we can pattern for sure. But I'm always looking to learn new things. It's it's just been a struggle for me just because I'm so busy doing everything else. I'm on YouTube, I'm running a business and all that good stuff. So, all right. That's going to be it, guys. Looks like comments are drying up, questions are drying up. If I didn't answer your question, or if you're watching this at a later date, leave some comments down below for me. I'd be happy to answer those for you. Johnny Liberty, if you're still watching, please reach out to me. We'll go over GOVX a little bit more if you want to. And that's going to do it for me. Please like this if you got a lot of value out of this, and subscribe. If you're not subscribed, I certainly would encourage you to do that. And if you are not part of the mentorship, I put it in the top of this chat. And I'll put it in one more time for you guys. So it was, let me see here. It was Tesla 20. So Tesla 20, if you are not in my mentorship group and you want to, and you're interested in it, maybe you haven't pulled the trigger, that is the coupon code, Tesla 20. It's good for 48 hours. So Tesla 20, you get 20% off the mentorship, and it's good for 24 hours. So go check it out if you want to be a part of the mentorship. There's a lot of people that are already watching this right now that are in it, and they can attest to it. They can speak for me, since obviously I'm a little bit biased, but I've helped them out a lot, and they get a lot of value out of it. It pays for itself every single month. So that's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, I will see you all before the bell. And B. Smith is out. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday and happy trading this week, guys. It's going to be a crazy one.